million farmers will be signed up from the figure of 200,000 last year. That champion of Ghanaian farmers, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Efriye Akuto, is doing a yeoman's job. Order. Fishing in our country, an industry that provides a living for 10% of the population, has been bedeviled by many problems in the past. The fishing harvest has gone down dramatically, and we have had to depend more and more on imported fish. We have started work to tackle these problems. This past year, we made sure that the close season was respected, not just by the industrial tuna vessels, but also by the trawlers. We will adhere to this policy for the foreseeable future, which should help us replenish our depleted stocks. More effective measures are being taken against illegal, unreported, and unregulated methods of fishing. We have also instituted measures to avert pre-mixed diversions, and strict auditing of landing beaches are now in place. I can state that since November, there's been no report of pre-mixed diversion. A marked improvement from the past. Mr. Speaker, I believe that the future lies in the promotion of aquaculture, and we have set about it with a lot of enthusiasm. We have identified 100 dams in 5 regions across the country: Upper East, Upper West, Northern, Volta, and Western, and stocked them with fingerlings. This is the start of big things to come, due to the efforts of the forceful Minister for Fisheries and Agriculture, Honorable Elizabeth Afule-Kwei, MP for Krobo. Mr. Speaker, agriculture forms the backbone of our flagship One District, One Factory program. The majority of the proposals that have been evaluated and accepted for support under the scheme are agro-based. It is food processing, after all, that has been the take-off point for industrialization in most developed countries. It also fits in with our determination to open up our country and make jobs and facilities available in all parts of the country. Mr. Speaker, problems associated with our environment and the galamsey phenomenon have taken up a lot of the time and energy of this government. The fight against galamsey is being spearheaded by a high-powered interministerial committee led by the globally acclaimed Ghanaian scientist, Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Boateng, Minister for Science, Technology, Environment and Innovation, supported by the indefatigable Minister for Lands and Resources and Natural Resources, John Peter Amewu. This committee is waging a valiant struggle to bring the galamsey phenomenon under control. His work has received, thankfully, the wide support of the media. Mr. Speaker, we have had to ban small-scale mining for the past 9 months. We acknowledge that the banning of small-scale mining cannot be the long-term solution in a country such as ours, which is blessed with so many minerals. But as the saying goes, desperate situations call for desperate remedies. We cannot look on as our very existence as a country is put in jeopardy and our water bodies, forests and landmass are destroyed. Even with the ban, it has been a never-ending battle with the galamseyers. And I'm sure the House will want to join with me in paying tribute to the members of our forces in the Operation Vanguard that are protecting our environment. They are Ghanaian patriots of the first order. We have started various schemes to find sustainable alternative sources of income for the Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, nothing will ever equate the attraction of the search for gold or diamond, and maybe the drama of actually finding some. But this generation of Ghanaians dares not preside over the destruction of our lands. The state of our rivers and forests remains a great cause for worry, and it is our sacred duty to protect them. I hope I can count on the total support of the House to help nurse our degraded lands and rivers back to health. I'm equally grateful to those chiefs who have supported the fight against Galamsey. My government will continue to reach out to our traditional rulers so that together we can address pressing issues facing our nation and its peace and stability. Mr. Speaker, there is relief in some areas, and I refer specifically to the spectacular improvement in our power supply problems. A lot of hard work has gone into easing the intolerable debt situation that threatened to paralyze the energy industry. We still have problems with the cost of power, and we're working to put Ghana at a competitive advantage. We intend to find private sector operators to buy into the state-owned thermal plants and inject the capital needed to bring power tariffs down for both domestic and commercial consumers. The most reliable and ultimately cheapest answer to our power needs lies with renewable energy sources. We should promote and enthusiastically encourage investment and use of renewable energy. I'm sure that the House shares my relief that Dumso is no longer part of our everyday lexicon. Long may it say so, as we applaud the tireless efforts of the Minister for Energy, Energy Minister Boakye Ejaku. Mr. Speaker, the safety and security of our people are at the heart of all that we do. Ghanaian citizens have a right to expect to go about their daily lives in an atmosphere of peace. A Ghanaian has a right to expect that those who break the law must be subject to the sanctions laid down under the law. The police, the prosecution services, and the judiciary owe it to all of us to make us feel and be safe. I do not need to repeat, the crime wears no political colors, and I'm certain that message has gone down to all. So, Mr. Speaker, the law enforcement agencies will crack down hard on all those who would disturb the peace of our nation. We will give the police the resources they need to do their job. An initial amount of 800 million cedis is being made available to procure and supply within the next 6 months critical modern policing equipment and gadgets to enhance the capacity of the police to enforce law and order, including 1,000 vehicles, motorbikes, and ammunition. The equipment is to facilitate visibility, mobility, and improve responsiveness of the police, to ensure a safe, secure, and peaceful economic and social environment for Ghanaians to work and thrive. Already, the successful renegotiation of existing contracts has enabled us to purchase forthwith 100 vehicles for the police. To long term, order. will purchase drones and helicopters to assist the police combat violent crime and environmental crime. The crime laboratories will be modernized and properly equipped to provide the necessary support. The police intelligence unit will also be strengthened. The perennial problems associated with police accommodation will be tackled, and a compensation package introduced to cover officers in their line of duty. Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that the entire nation is extremely anxious and perturbed by the activities of the migrant nomadic herdsmen in the country. We're rehabilitating the kraals or ranches that were abandoned after the Kufuor-led NPP government left office in 2009. They will become operational shortly to provide secure grazing places for cattle. At the same time, efforts are also being intensified to find an ECOWAS-wide solution to an issue which goes beyond the boundaries of our country and is affecting the entire West African region. Speaker, we shall not allow miscreants of any sort to terrorize our population. And I promise that there will be no hiding place for criminals. I'm certain that the interventions we're introducing will boost morale in the service, and I urge the House and all citizens to support the police to deliver the service we deserve. The formidable Minister for the Interior, Honorable Ambrose Derry, MP for Nandom, needs our effective cooperation to carry out his all-important function. Mr. Speaker, in much the same way, we're beginning to address the problems of our armed forces. I'm happy to report that work has started on the barracks regeneration program. The acute accommodation problems that face our armed forces must be and are now being tackled by that energetic Minister for Defense, the Honorable Dominic Nitiwo, MP for Dumbila. We know that it is in all our interests that those charged with ensuring our security, who put their lives on the line for our safety, are able to concentrate on their jobs without distractions like inadequate and inappropriate housing. It is vital that all of us give maximum support to the noble, brave men and women of our security services involved in Operation Calm Life, Operation Vanguard, and Operation Cowleg, aid at guaranteeing the safety of our people, the integrity of our environment, and the peace of our nation. The housing deficit is not limited to our security services. It is a nationwide problem that is caused mostly by the intolerable pressure on land.